Hi everyone, this is Kathy Anderson, principal here at Deerfield High School. I am honored to welcome you to the spring season of Warrior Athletics. Athletics is an integral part of the amazing experience we hope to provide our students while at DHS. As a former athlete playing volleyball, basketball, and softball in high school and rowing in college, and now as a parent of two very active children, I've been lucky enough to experience the extraordinary power of athletics within a school community and the community in general. As parents, whether you are or were an athlete yourself, I know that you have likely experienced years of this yourself. And despite the challenges of shuttling kids between practices, games, and tournaments near and far, there comes a joy of watching your child engage in the sport they love and cheering alongside fellow parents, neighbors, and more. Athletics truly brings us together in remarkable ways and helps our student athletes not only grow in their athletic knowledge and skills, but also as teammates and members of the larger athletic community. This season, I hope for three things for your child. Number one, I hope that they build strong and caring relationships with their coach and teammates. These are bonds that will last a lifetime. Two, I hope that they become stronger and more confident athletes as individuals and as a team. Perhaps this is a PR in track, improving their swing in tennis, or motivating teammates as a team captain. And finally, I hope they embrace every moment, particularly for our senior athletes. Athletics isn't just about the outcome of one or more games or competitions, but rather the daily memories that they will form with their teammates. Thank you to each of you for guiding, supporting, and cheering on your child and their team to this point. Thank you also to our wonderful coaches and athletic department for getting us this far. Together, we'll all make this a great season. I look forward to cheering with you this spring season, and fingers crossed for some great weather for outdoor sports. Let's go Warriors!
Hello, Warriors. I am Nate Flannery, Athletic Director at Deerfield High School. I feel honored to serve in this role as the Athletic Director. Deerfield High School and the Deerfield community are really a tremendous place. We appreciate how passionate our parents, student athletes, coaches, and the community as a whole is about Warrior Athletics. I was fortunate enough myself to play high school athletics, participating in football, basketball, and baseball. I also competed at the college level in basketball and baseball, and they're both wonderful experiences for me. Sports have continued to be a part of my life since that time. I coached prior to coming to Deerfield High School, primarily basketball. I've also coached my own children in their sports. They're 10 and 13 now, and I continue to do that. And it's a wonderful experience. So overall, I have a great appreciation for sports and all it can bring to the lives of student athletes and the life skills they're going to learn from participating in them. Of course, all the excitement that takes place on game days, but even more so the time that is spent behind the scenes to prepare for those moments and life lessons that are going to take place. Here at Deerfield, we're fortunate to offer over 30 varsity sports with an enrollment of just over 1,500 kids. That's pretty remarkable. And for that to take place, we need a lot of student participation, and we've been very fortunate to get that. We also have a lot of students that participate in more than one sport, and we'd encourage you to do so. Our coaches work well with one another to make that a realistic opportunity at Deerfield High School. As a new season of Warrior Athletics begins, we appreciate you giving a few minutes of your time to us today so we can provide some information to you from the athletic administration side of things. If you have any questions that remain unanswered after watching these videos, please feel free to reach out to our office at any time. You can contact myself. You can contact Molly Tomlinson, our Assistant Athletic Director. Kyle Nagel, our Administrative Assistant, is also available to answer any questions you may have. And we would encourage you to also visit our website where you can find information to contact coaches directly that oversee the program your son or daughter may be in. The goals of high school athletics, we really want to provide a few essential pieces. I'm going to give you kind of the aerial view, and then there's cultures that are built, of course, within each program themselves. But really what we're trying to do at Deerfield is, number one, provide a safe environment for athletes to compete. If for any reason you feel your son or daughter is in a position that is unsafe, we want you to contact us immediately. You can contact our office, you can contact your coach, you can contact Principal Kathy Anderson, you can contact a counselor, reach out to whoever you feel is most appropriate for you, but please make sure that you reach out. Number two, we also want all of our student athletes to improve within the sport that they are playing. We hire coaches that we consider to be professionals in their craft. And we want student athletes to improve within their skills. We want them to improve as a team. And we want them to find some success in a team environment. Success may look a little different depending on the team that given year. For some teams, a successful season might be winning more than they lose. For others, it could be winning a sectional championship. It could be going to state. It's going to vary depending on the team that given year. We don't expect this. We don't have the same expectations necessarily for every team every season. We're a public high school. Students come in. We try to get the most out of the potential that they have, and again, provide a great experience within that. But that's going to look a little bit different potentially for each team. And it also varies by level. At the freshman level, our expectations and goals are not necessarily winning. It's providing an opportunity for kids to have a good experience while learning the skills of the sport. Hopefully having a roster spot for everybody that's interested in coming out for that team, and giving everybody an opportunity. As you continue to go on in high school athletics, things become more competitive. The sophomore or JV level, the emphasis is going to start to turn a little bit more towards winning, but we're still, of course, always trying to provide that great experience and opportunities for kids. But you may see that playing time begins to shift a little bit. And the goal is shifting a little bit towards trying to win contests, providing in place of just providing an equal opportunity for everybody to get playing time. And then at the varsity level, high school varsity sports are intended to be competitive. We're looking to put the best student athletes on the field that give us the best chance to win those contests. While, of course, hopefully still providing an opportunity for everybody throughout the course of the year, and always, again, trying to provide a great experience. We want the kid that is starting to have a great experience. We want the kid that maybe not getting as much playing time to still have a great experience. And that is our goal. And I think the third one is right there as important as number one was safety, and number two is we want student athletes to learn life skills. This includes, but is not limited to, dealing with adversity and success, learning time management skills, appreciating something that is bigger than just themselves, and being committed to that cause in an environment that is fun. Yes, fun. Well, we are fortunate to have and had many student athletes go on to play at the collegiate level. And that is a goal that is certainly attainable at Deerfield High School. We also recognize that less than 2% of high school athletes go on to compete at the collegiate level. So high school sports may be your last experience getting to compete in a team environment or within an individual sport potentially. So that should be a good experience. With that being said, you can reach for the stars at Deerfield High School. You can have the aspirations to play at the collegiate level if that is something you want to do. We have many student athletes that do that. We've also had alumni that have gone on to play at the professional level. We've had 2 Super Bowl winners graduate from Deerfield High School, NBA player, an Olympic medalist. So don't be afraid to reach for the stars. Just know that it's going to require a tremendous amount of dedication and work by you, not only while you're at practices and games at Deerfield High School, but you're going to have to put in a lot of work outside of the school as well to attain those goals. And we are here to support you in whatever fashion we can. The roles that we all play different roles with the intention of creating a good experience for student athletes. From our coaches, we expect that they're communicating clearly and often. In particular, with the student athlete, we want the student athlete to learn self-advocacy and communication and those life skills, but they'll also be communicating with parents, of course, as well, so they know what is taking place. It's the coach's job to offer a physically and emotionally safe environment to learn for our student athletes. And of course, we want them to teach skills that provide improvement throughout the course of the season and lead to growth within the team itself. And within that, we want to provide practices and competitions that are enjoyable for everyone and provide a healthy outlet for our student athletes. We appreciate that student athletes give their time back to the school at the end of the day, potentially 2 or 3 hours on a given night, maybe longer if it's an away game. and we understand how valuable that time is, and we want that experience to be a good one. We also want our student athletes to respect and appreciate that the coaches are also giving that time back to the school as well. And we want to be respectful of their time as well. We also want to make sure to point out that our coaches are hired professionals. We hire them with the intention that they are going to run the program in terms of the culture that is built within it, the playing time, the coaching strategies. We rely on our coaches to be the professional in that regard. Our office is not telling coaches what offenses to run, which kids should be playing in games. And we wouldn't expect anybody else to do that either. The coaches are the ones that are there 2 to 3 hours a day after school. They have the best grasp of what puts student athletes in the best position on that team to be successful. And they are the ones that are the expert within that sport. And we respect and appreciate them for that. And we ask that everybody involved do the same. The role of the administrators, our athletic department office, we're here to provide oversight and supervision as it relates to all aspects of the student athlete experience. This includes the hiring of our coaching staff, our head coaches, who again, we expect to then oversee and run that program. This also includes many behind the scene responsibilities that probably go unnoticed, and that's okay. We're okay with that. If we're doing our job well, hopefully it doesn't become anything that gathers attention. Those things include budgeting, facilities, scheduling, compliance with the CSL and the IHSA, transportation, social media, and a whole host of other things that we're trying to get done behind the scenes to provide a good experience for our student athletes and our coaches. Parents and guardians, like I said, I'm a parent myself. I sit in the stands and cheer for my kids at their games. I think you have probably one of the hardest roles and undoubtedly the most important. We and our student athletes, we really look for you to provide support to your own children, to the other children on the team, to our coaching staff. That includes a lot of things. That includes getting your child to and from the school so they can get on the bus for an event or for a Saturday practice or whatever it might be, providing them with healthy meals at home, nutrition so they can get the best out of their experience, and make sure the uniform's clean, and a whole list of other things. But most important, nobody plays a more vital role in the social and emotional support of the student athlete than their parents or guardians. Our coaches will provide plenty of support to your student athletes in ways that they can improve in the skill of the sport, how they can help the team become more successful. And we hope that you're there to provide unconditional support for your student athlete, showing them love and support after the great games, and also on those nights when things might not go quite as well. From my own parenting, I try to let my kids determine how much they want to talk about the sport that they're playing. If I pick them up from practice and they get in the car and that's what they want to talk about, that's what we're going to talk about. I, of course, always try to show support for the coach and don't second guess those things. But on the nights they don't want to talk about it so much, then we don't talk about it so much. And I think that's okay too. And your parent or your kids really look for you for that support and guidance. To our student athletes, this is ultimately your experience. You're going to get 4 years at Deerfield High School to participate in a given sport. If you choose to participate for all 4 years, you're going to get out of that experience, in my opinion, what you put into that experience, and it's going to go by fast. So I'd ask you to enjoy it. In my nearly 20 years of being a coach and or an athletic administrator, those students, athletes I recall having the best experience, both in terms of enjoyment and success, are undoubtedly the ones who put the most into it, while giving of themselves for the betterment of the team as a whole. As stated earlier, while we hope that many of you will go on to play beyond Deerfield High School, if that is a goal of yours, if that is what you want, still appreciate that this time goes by fast and make sure you enjoy it. Communication. I spoke about this a little bit earlier, but coaches will be communicating mostly directly with the student athlete. They'll also, of course, communicate with parents as needed, and we would expect that, of course, as well. We want student athletes to learn life skills, as I stated, self-advocacy. If they feel they have questions about their role on the team, whether that's playing time, how they can improve their skills, whatever it might be, we just ask that you encourage them to go have that conversation with the coach. Our coaches want student athletes to have a good experience. They want them to improve at the sport. So be willing to have that conversation as a student athlete with your coach. And I think you will find that it would be well received. Transportation. We provide transportation to and from all away contests. We do ask that student athletes find their way, of course, to any events that are held at Deerfield High School, whether that be practices or games. We do understand that things come up from time to time where a student athlete may have to take a different means of transportation to an away contest for whatever reason that might be. We just ask that you speak with your coach in advance and they can provide you with guidance on what that looks like to gain the pre-approval that is needed in order to do that. Extracurricular code. We have an extracurricular code at Deerfield High School. It ranges in categories from a category 1 offense up to a category 3 offense. Those things could be anything from theft and vandalism, alcohol or drug abuse, to hate speech or hazing, things we absolutely do not want to see. We want to provide, as I said, goal number 1 is a safe environment for our student athletes. As it comes to the extracurricular code, the intent is not to catch people doing something wrong. We're here to help people. We have counselors in place. We have programs in place. If there's a student athlete that needs help, we want to provide help. And of course, there are consequences to violations of the code of conduct. But again, the intent of it isn't to punish, although there are consequences. The intent is to provide help. So please reach out if you feel that help is needed. As I referenced, we do have a hate speech policy within the CSL conference that was actually adopted by the IHSA as a whole. You should not feel harassed or bullied in any way, whether that's within your own team, when playing an opponent, by anybody involved in our athletic department in any way, shape, or form. And if you feel that is happening, you need to make sure you reach out to somebody. Reach out to the coach, reach out to our office, reach out to a counselor, reach out to somebody you trust, and make sure you let people know, because we want to make sure that that situation is rectified and that the people that are potentially doing something that is inappropriate are held accountable for those actions. We want to make sure it's a safe environment for you as a student athlete. Academic eligibility, you must be passing at least 5 classes at all times while participating in athletics at Deerfield High School and throughout the state of Illinois. That is an IHSA policy that you are passing 25 credit hours. So we ask that you make sure you're taking care of all you need to academically. We truly believe that you are student athletes and you are a student first. So if athletics are getting in the way of your academic performance, you need to have that conversation with the coach. Our coaches will be very supportive. Maybe you need to go see a tutor after school some days or go work with a teacher, whatever the case might be. You're a student first. And I'd caution you, if you waiver out of PE, make sure you are still passing at least 5 classes and taking at least 5 classes without PE. PE will not count towards your 5 classes if you are wavering out of it. If you have any questions on that, check in with the counselor or check in with our office. The Booster Club, there'll most likely be a Booster Club rep either at your meeting or providing a video. The Booster Club is a tremendous supporter of Warrior Athletics. From the scoreboard that we see on Adams Field to badminton birdie machines to a whole host of other things, they provide for all of our student athletes across all of our sports. The streaming that we're able to do at events. They just recently purchased a new camera for our DSI program and those students that do the streaming, as well as the streaming services that are in the gym and at Adams Field. They provide the athletic department with Huddle, which Huddle is a scouting software. It's used for recruiting film for our student athletes. They really do a tremendous job and we're so thankful for them. I would encourage you to absolutely get involved. They have a website that is available by linking through our website where you can find more information. In closing, thank you so much for your time. We are so happy that you're going to be a part of the Warrior Athletic family. If you've already been a part of that family for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, we hope that you have found it to be a great experience. That is ultimately what we're trying to provide. We want to provide our student athletes with a safe environment that is a good experience, that improves their skills within the sport, and hopefully leads to success within that team, whatever success that may be for that particular team. Thank you so much for your time. I look forward to seeing you out on the field court or pool and be right there behind everybody supporting our Warrior athletes. Thank you. Go Warriors.
Hey Warriors, I'm Molly Tomlinson, the Assistant Athletic Director here at Deerfield. I couldn't agree more with all that Coach Flannery shared about Deerfield Athletics and all the positive aspects of it. I graduated from Deerfield. I'm a product of Deerfield Athletics, and I played 3 sports here: volleyball, basketball, and softball. I went on to play softball at the collegiate level, and I have now experience coaching softball, basketball, and volleyball. I'm very excited for another season to begin. Just a couple things to note as the season gets underway. If you have not familiarized yourself with the Deerfield High School Athletic website, please do so. There's amazing resources there that will keep you up to date, such as our registration link. If you need to register your athlete, if you need to check out summer camp info, or if you need to upload a new physical. You can also check out all of our schedules for our sports, all of the rosters once the teams are made. And there are links to all of our social media accounts. Our social media accounts are important to follow with all updates and exciting accolades throughout the season. On Instagram, if you follow Deerfield Warrior Athletics, you'll get all the fun updates. If you're on Twitter, if you go to DHS _Athletics, you can find all of the updates there. And if you're on Facebook, follow Deerfield Warrior Athletics. We never hesitate to share the amazing things that are happening in our pools, on our courts, and on our fields. If there are any questions that you ever have throughout the season, please don't hesitate to ask. Don't hesitate to reach out to your coach or someone in our department. We are always here to help. We are so excited for spring season to be here and cannot wait to get out there and support the Warriors. Go Warriors!